What's up YouTube? It's natedizzy here. I wanted to bring you a quick video on building 1x1's as fast as possible. So without further ado, we'll jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is keybinds as well as sensitivity. Now in Fortnite, building is highly important and you want to be able to build things as fast as possible because building, in some cases, can be more important to your gameplay than your shooting will be. So you want to make sure your building's dialed in. And in order to do that, you need to make sure that your binds and sensitivity settings are appropriate. So we'll go right into that. And I want to show you first my binds for building. So as you can see, I use ESDF for my movement keys. If I was using a controller, I would use Builder Pro. And then I have my wall, floor, and stairs as follows. I have R, which would be for WASD, it would be E. I have my floor as V, which would be C for WASD, and then I have my stairs to my thumb button, which is this button here, the front button, because it's easiest to press, and stairs are one of the most used things in Fortnite. Being able to, they make you be able to move up quickly, and it's just the most used. You can, wall off or wall between people without killing your mobility to get up and shoot against them and give yourself more options overall. So those are my buttons, and I have them like that for a reason. Whenever I jump, I want to be able to switch to both stairs and walls at exactly the same moment. So when I jump, they're on separate buttons. My floor is a little less important for stuff like that because anytime I'm jumping, I'm gonna be up in the air for a second, so I have a second to switch to the floor. So with that out of the way, we'll talk about sensitivity. Now in Fortnite, your sensitivity needs to be a little bit higher than other games. Now what I would advise doing is first find a sensitivity on your mouse sensitivity scale that makes aiming work well for you, your gunplay feels good, you're comfortable with it, and then I would boost it up higher. Like say you start and you feel comfortable at 0.2. I would boost it up and then make up for that boost in your targeting and scope sensitivity so that it's lower when you're actually aiming. Mine is 1:1 because I'm comfortable with the fast sensitivity in this game with aiming, and you may be as well, but that's something to take into account. If you're having problems with having a fast sensitivity for building and then feeling like you're not able to shoot as good, just work on those values. And a lot of people use a lower sensitivity for their aiming. I just don't happen to be one of them. Now moving into 1x1, and the first thing I would say is practice your ramp walls. Just like this. Very simple. And the key to this is making sure that you're aimed at the appropriate level for placing each thing. With ramps, you can be aimed a little bit further up when you're placing them. But if you do this with the walls, you will place a wall in front of you. So you're going to learn by doing this that you need to be looking at a certain level in order to place them. So once you've got your ramp walls down, now you're ready to make a super fast 1x1. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with the base, and you're going to practice this. You're going to run to the top of the ramp, and as you do, you're going to have your walls out or switch to your walls, and you're going to practice placing wall, 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 and then looking back here. And in fast motion, that looks like this. Okay, and you're going to do that. What you're going to do is hold forward as you run up the ramp and make sure that you end up looking something like this. Now, you want to make sure that you're not aiming too high when you do that, because if you do, what'll happen is when you go to place your ramp, you'll place it up top like this, and that's not what you want to do. And this is where the ramp wall rush, knowing how to do that, can really help you, because you know at what level you're supposed to be placing your ramp in order to get it in the right position. So starting again, once you have it down to do this movement where you're going to be holding forward and doing a turning motion and then back to the opposite direction of the ramp, or any direction, but but you want to be in line with a wall. So like say the enemy's over there, but I start my 1x1 this way, I can do it like this, and I can jump that way. Obviously failed the jump, but you get the point. If you want to start moving that way, you can do that, but you're going to have to practice that a little bit more to get the right angles on that. So I would advise starting off by ending up facing the opposite of the ramp below. Once you get used to doing this motion without falling off the edge and without doing it to where you end up very low on the ramp, you want to end up here. Then you can start trying to throw in your jump to ramp. Okay, and as you could see, I landed about halfway up on the next ramp. Now, one of the problems that you might be having when doing your 1x1s is landing too low on the next ramp up, and this was my problem. This is what made my 1x1s much slower than everyone else's, as far as highly advanced players. And this is what will make the difference between a noob 1x1 and a more advanced level 1x1. As you can see, when I do the jump, I'm landing at least halfway up, and in some cases you can land up as high as about here and almost all the way to the top. And this is because you will clip through the ramp and it will force you a little bit higher. Now right there, what happened was I placed a ramp over my head, and this is why where you end up when you do this motion is paramount. You want to make sure that when you do this motion, you're not aimed too high, because you'll end up placing a ramp over your head. Just like that. And another thing that I was doing was strafing. As I was coming up, I was ending up doing this because I wasn't actually making the movement fast enough. And so that was causing me to strafe, which gives you less speed, which even if you're jumping this way, you're not going to get as high up on the next ramp, and you're most likely going to stick yourself underneath it like this, which is going to ruin the whole point of building a super fast 1x1. So recap real quick, get your motion down to where you're ending up looking, you're placing all four walls, and then you're ending up looking this direction at the top of the ramp. Then add in your jump, and make sure that you're not falling off the 1x1 when you're doing this, even though it will be harder to fall off the 1x1 when you're doing this because the walls will be placed. If you practice and make sure you're not falling off without the walls, then you definitely won't have any problem with the walls. Once you get this movement all set, throw in your ramp. As you saw there, I aimed too high and thus placed the ramp too high, and that's why I said earlier, it's very important that you not do that. So make sure that you're not aiming too high when you get done. And there you go. That's how you build the fastest 1x1s in Fortnite. Let me know if you have any questions or if you think I left something out in the comments section. Keep a lookout for me and my next video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this, and that's about it. natedizzy out.